Welcome into the Coach Mike Magistrelli Show. I'm your host, Logan Howell, and with me today is Coach Magistrelli. Coach, thanks for being here today.
Oh, you bet, Logan.
So let's get right into it here. The last game you guys played against Lawrence Tech, what was some takeaways that you had from that game?
Well, obviously it was our first road trip. We had an overnight trip, travel out east. Obviously it's a pretty long haul out to Detroit, Michigan area, and you lose an hour in the time travel, and then you have the overnight stay, and then it was an early kickoff for us, and that it was a noon game Eastern time, which makes it 11 o'clock our time. And one of the things we talked about was making the adjustment, being ready to start right off the bat, those type of things. And unfortunately for us, they returned the opening kickoff for a pretty long return, set them up deep in our own end, and unfortunately gave up a score in the first possession. Felt like we battled back and ended up taking a lead. We got up, I think it was 17-7 at one point. Defense played pretty well throughout the day. We were able to create some turnovers defensively. Unfortunately for us, we kind of did the same offensively and turned it back over. I think we created 4 defensively. We gave it up 4 times. It's certainly tough to win like that, and gave ourselves a chance at the end, one final drive to potentially take the lead and win the football game. And unfortunately for us, it ended in an interception there at the end.
Yeah, the defense was fantastic. They held Lawrence Tech to 2 of 13 on third down. What do you credit that to?
Well, again, we played great team defense. I thought we did a great job defending the run throughout the day there. Obviously Lawrence Tech has a good offense and a balanced attack and a good quarterback and those type of things, to where they were able to make some plays a couple times in the passing game. But overall, I thought we played again really well against the run. Forced turnovers, did it, like you mentioned, a great job on third down. Defense kept us in the football game. Unfortunately for us, just not able to make enough plays offensively to win the football game.
Yeah, and speaking of the quarterback spot, Tyler Kolka, the quarterback of Lawrence Tech, had 4 touchdown passes. What made him so difficult to stop?
Yeah, he's a very good quarterback. We knew that going into the game and seen him on film, and not only a great passer, but a pretty good athlete to extend plays and those type of things. And I thought they did a good job, moving him around a little bit, and was able to make some plays in the passing game. Then anytime you throw 4 touchdowns, you've had a pretty good day.
Yeah, and you talked about the air attack for the Bees a little bit here. They kind of struggled this week a little bit. What was the secondary presenting you guys?
Yeah, a lot of man coverage, a lot of kind of uptight press man, and it's something we got to do a better job of moving forward, being able to execute against that. I thought Lawrence Tech did a great job on the edges. Their corners were very physical and aggressive, and those type of things made it tough on our wide receivers to get open, and that's something as we headed into the bye week this past week. We tried to spend some time to improve in those areas.
Yeah, and we saw a lot more John Beckendorf than we normally do in this game. Was that just kind of a spark in the game, or was that game planned going into this?
Well, it was a little bit of kind of situation. We were kind of sputtering a little bit offensively. Wanted to have a spark. Felt like they were again doing a great job on the edges against our receivers. We're able to get some pressure on the quarterback at times. We felt like putting John in there is a little bit more mobile, runs around, extending plays, giving our receivers again a little bit more time to get open. I thought that was something to kind of go to at that point in the game, and John played pretty well. It sparked us right away. He ended up having a long scramble for a touchdown, and did some good things in terms of moving the ball. So it was good to see John get in there and do well.
Yeah, and you talked about the first long travel of the year here. Do you think that affected the team at all?
Well, it's hard to say. Obviously, like I mentioned, it was a pretty long road trip and an early football game and those type of things. But it's something as a football team you got to be able to adapt and kind of put those factors out of the equation. And obviously, once you tee it up and blow the whistle to start the game, it's football. Whether you traveled or you're playing on the road, whether it's a long trip, an overnight trip, all those type of things. At the end of the day, football's football, and we got to be able to find a way to execute regardless of the travel situation.
Yeah, and what were some positives from this game that you're hoping to take into this weekend's game?
Well, I think we saw some good things defensively. Again, anytime you create 4 turnovers, you got a chance to win a football game, and I thought we did a good job, again, keeping us in the game there. I thought there was a couple times, whether it be special teams or, we weren't able to quite capitalize on some opportunities. We had a roughing the punter, deep in their own end, and that potentially could have resulted in a touchdown for us, having blocked the punt, but we got called for roughing. And so there were some things that, could have turned the football game quite differently. I was extremely proud of the guys and the way we competed. We have a great group that way that regardless of the score, regardless of the situation, is going to keep competing till the final whistle. And I think that's what's kept us in football games throughout the year, to give us an opportunity late in the game to potentially win those games.
Yeah, and this past weekend, you guys were on a bye week here. What's the feeling around the team after this bye?
Well, obviously a bye week, a couple things we set out as goals going into the bye week was, one, to find areas of improvement, to focus on those, certain things offensively, certain things defensively, same thing within the kicking game or special teams play. So you try and find a way to target those areas, work on those areas, improve during the week. The second big goal was to get some guys healthy and give them a little bit of a break physically. So we practiced a couple days during the bye week, gave them a couple days off. I feel like we're able to accomplish both of our goals. One, in finding ways to improve in certain areas of the game, and then two, getting some guys that might have been a little nicked up, banged up, get them healthy and get them back out on the field this week.
Yeah, and speaking of getting guys healthy, do you think this bye week came at the right time for you guys?
Yeah, it came at a pretty good time. Obviously we're 4 games into the season, and it's a nice point in the season to have that bye, and then obviously this kind of springboards us into the conference portion of the season, conference portion of play here, starting with Trinity this week. So I think the bye came at a very good time.
Yeah, now coming out of this bye here, teams sitting where they at record-wise, what are some things you want to improve on offensively as you go into the rest of the season? Yeah,
we got to be able to execute versus the man coverage. It's something that Lawrence Tech did a great job of, again, being physical, being aggressive, playing up tight. Obviously we've got to be able to run the football, but be able to make plays in the passing game. I think we're a little too one-dimensional against Lawrence Tech. And so, again, that's something we tried to focus on throughout the bye week, being able to execute better against those type of looks. And it's something that we'll continue to see as the season progresses, this week with Trinity and moving forward. So it was certainly a big key for us.
Yeah, and the defense has played fantastic all year long, but what are some things you're hoping to improve on defensively the rest of the way?
Yeah, some situational things. I think, we've played really well again against the run. I think there's times in some past situations where we can do a better job of whether it's coverage on the back end, getting pressure on the quarterback, doing some things to particularly in those third and passing situations, third and longs, those type of things where we need to do a better job getting off the field in a couple of those situations, and obviously those are things that earlier you can get off the field, the more you're going to flip field position. So those are a lot of things that we can find ways to continue to improve on.
Yeah, and as you guys get into these conference games here, what's the message that you're sending to the team?
Well, again, the bye week came at a good time. We get to kind of reset a little bit, both physically, mentally, go into conference play, 0-0, and again, everything out ahead of you. So I'm certainly excited to play coming out of the bye here and get ready to move forward for the rest of the season.
Coach, thank you. We will hear from you again later. Up next, we'll hear from defensive back Vincent Shaw. Stay tuned.
I believe that a university that's given so much to me and my family, I need to give back. And my youngest daughter graduated from here, my wife graduated from here, and now we're in an opportunity we can get back to the university and thank them for everything they've done for us.
We're more than a radio station. We're your neighbors, investing time in our community. We're mentors, guiding the next generation of broadcasters. We're supporters of veterans, partners with social service agencies, and investigators of history. We're dedicated sports fans. We're committed to the stories that make the Quad Cities unique. We are KALA Radio, 88.5 FM, 106.1 FM. Turn it on, turn it up.
Welcome back to the Coach Magistrelli Show. With me now is defensive back Vincent Shaw. Vincent, thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
So first question I got for you, how'd you start playing football?
I started playing football, football is kind of like a family sport, so, we take it real serious in our family. So, watching my brother growing up, since I was a little kid, I always, I loved the game, being around the game, being around him. So, you kind of like a role model in my life to, push me to want to be better than him kind of in a way. Back in my hometown, my brother was really good in high school, so, be able to get better than him or get my name out of the shadows was kind of like my thing, growing up.
And growing up, was football the only sport you played, or was there a couple other ones?
I played probably every sport you can think of. I wrestled, I played basketball, ran track, played baseball. I played anything I could basically, get my time on.
And looking at your football career here, what has been your favorite moment?
It has to go back to, Missouri Baptist last year. Being able to catch my first pick six, running down the sideline 83 yards was a very big moment to me, because it was a kind of momentum shift in the game. And, be able to celebrate with my team, feel the joy of everybody on the sideline was just amazing.
Yeah, and I remember that play. It was a fantastic play that you had there. And looking at Ambrose here, what drew you to St. Ambrose?
What drew me to St. Ambrose, coming out of like my junior college of the Page, I really didn't have a lot of film. I knew Coach Madge and all other coaches from recruiting me in high school, so I wanted to be very close to my mom because, her dealing with her sickness, I wanted to be able for her to come when she wants and me go home when I need to. So, I emailed Coach Madge, and he was actually one of the only coaches to email me back and give me a chance, basically having no film in college and, all that. So, I took that very hardly, so like for him to give me that chance and open me in with open arms.
Yeah, and speaking of Coach Magistrelli, how's your time been under his coaching staff and him?
Oh, it's been lovely. Coach Madge has taught me a lot, as not even just a player, just as a man, how to carry myself in school, emphasizing, school comes first before practice, that was a big thing I had to learn, and the way he coaches every day, I really never had to really coach that, get coaches like him, so at practice is always energy, excitement, everything, and I love it every bit.
Yeah, and speaking of this season, you're back into a fall schedule here after a spring season last year. Kind of talk about what that's like.
It's kind of like back to normal, going from last spring, going from cold to hot, it was kind of different, but it was kind of amazing at the same time, for to be able to end the season with the heat. But, coming back to the fall, fall's my favorite season, so, it's football weather, cold, long sleeves, so it's kind of good to be back to normal type of things.
Yeah, and looking at your last matchup here against Lawrence Tech, how do you feel that the defense played?
I think we played really good. We had some certain mishaps that we messed up on. That were fixed later on in the game. But as a defense wholly, we played pretty good and soundly. We executed what we needed to execute in the times that we did. Like you said, we held them to 3 and 12 and third down. That was a big emphasis. Coming into that week was not being able to stop teams on third and fourth down. And in the 3 and out. So, being able to do that was very amazing in our eyes.
Yeah, and after that game, you guys got in a bye week this last week. How beneficial was that for you?
It was very good, being able to get off my feet, like, going through from a 3 to 4 week schedule of, football to be able to have only, certain amount of practice, 2 practices. It was good to, rest up, put my feet up, stretch, With lifting last week, we did a lot more like yoga based and more stretching. So like that was kind of good for the players that were hurt. To take that whole week off and be able to recuperate themselves and come back for a conference play this week.
Yeah, now going into this next week here, being a senior, your last homecoming game here, what's it like going into this matchup?
It gives me chills sometimes. I ain't gonna lie. I've played 4 years of college football already. Time went so fast, so to know it's my last homecoming, one of my last homecomings. It hasn't really settled in for me yet. So. Pretty sure by Saturday I'm gonna feel it a lot more.
Yeah, and what can we expect from the Bees this season, the rest of the way here?
You can expect excitement, energy, sound football. We're coming into this week, we're coming into conference play knowing that we need to execute on all cylinders. So us having the players meeting, after the last 3 losses, we kind of came together and let all our differences, so we can come together as a team and fix our mistakes so we can go out on the field every Saturday and give you guys a W.
And last question I have here for you, are there any goals that you have set for yourself the rest of the season here?
Yes, I have to do better in the aspect that I want to be an All-American. I want to be all-conference, I want all that, so I expect highly of myself. So the rest of the season I got to play like it's basically my last snap every snap, and I'm taking it hardly on myself because, I expect great things out of myself and I expect great things out of my team, so we have to go in every week with that mindset of, we can't lose.
Vincent, thank you for being here today. Up next, we'll hear from Coach Magistrelli once again. Don't go anywhere.
know lots of people gave so that I could come to Ambrose, and once I graduated and they asked if I would donate, I never felt like it was an option. I never felt that it was something I shouldn't do, because I wanted to give the same experiences that I had to someone else and let them have a great Ambrose experience as well.
Welcome back to the Coach Mike Magistrelli Show. With me again is Coach Magistrelli. And Coach, going into this matchup against Trinity International, what are some keys for you guys in this game?
Well, for our offense first, Trinity's defense has done a great job in the last couple ball games of creating a number of turnovers. I think they have 6 interceptions, a couple fumbles in the last couple games here. So protecting the football, we struggled with that a couple weeks ago against Lawrence Tech. That'll be a big key for us offensively. Defensively, they're a very potent and dangerous offense. They like to throw it around. The quarterback threw for about 400 yards a week ago. So defending the pass, getting pressure on him, that'll be a big key for us defensively.
Yeah, and looking at this Trojans team here, they're 2-2 right now, but their 2 losses are due to COVID-19 forfeits. Are they a lot better than their record indicates?
Well, as far as I look at it, they're 2-0. They've taken the field twice and won both football games. Obviously, there's not a lot you can do about the COVID forfeits early in the season. So, the way we look at it as a football team is they're 2-0. They're under a first-year new head coach, and so they got a lot of energy. What you see on the football field is a good product. They fly around defensively. They're very athletic on defense to give you different looks. And then again, offensively, even more multiple than they've been in years past. Last couple of years, they like to, really spread it out and throw it about every down. They started to play with some tight ends and run the football a little bit more, which, really makes their passing game even that much more dangerous.
And speaking of their passing game, their quarterback, Derek Taylor, he's done a really good job of limiting interceptions this year. What are you guys planning to do to get him to force some turnovers?
Yeah, he's done a great job. In their 2 games here, he's made some big plays in the passing game. Like I mentioned, a week ago, throwing for as many yards as he did. He's got a couple really good weapons there at the wide receiver position, and making sure that we keep him contained in terms of being in the pocket, because he is a good athlete. He's a physical runner. Will get out on the perimeter a little bit, when need be. And again, the longer he holds the football, more time those talented receivers have to try and find space, try and get open, and so that'll be a big challenge or a big key for us.
And their leading rusher, Javier Acosta, he's averaging 11 yards per carry right now. What do you guys plan on doing to slow him down?
Yeah, they have a couple pretty good backs. Javier, I think, is kind of their second back, but obviously anytime you're averaging double figures in yards and those type of things, you're a good player, and obviously it means the guys up front are doing a good job. They're one of the bigger offensive lines we will see. I think 4 of their 5 starters over 300 pounds. I think 3 of them are over 350. So they're big across the board and do a good job in terms of opening up some holes for the running game. Which again, the more success they can have running, and it makes them more dangerous to defend. So obviously, everything for us is, defensively starts with limiting that run game. So finding a ways to keep their tailbacks in check will be a big priority.
Yeah, and now taking a look at the Bees offense here, what can we expect from them this week?
Well, I think we obviously came off a game against Lawrence Tech where we really struggled, very stagnant, and just never got into any type of rhythm. And I think that's a big key for us offensively is rhythm. In order for us to get in a rhythm, we have to pick up first downs and stay on the field. When we do that, when we pick up initial first drive of a drive, we're usually in pretty good shape. Again, we can start using some tempo and doing different things and get in a rhythm of play calls and what we're doing and keeping defenses honest, those type of things. It's certainly tough when you go 3 and out to get into any rhythm. So picking up the first down of a drive will be a big key.
And the last question I have here for you, is there any other players on the Trojans that have stuck out to you in game planning?
Yeah, there's a few different guys. They have a defensive tackle. Number 9 is an extremely athletic player. Spends a lot of time in the opposing backfield, so we gotta know where he's at and be able to block him. And again, as a group defensively, they're very athletic. Offensively, they got some really talented wide receivers. Guys that have played for them for a couple years, had big games against us a year ago. I think they were both over 100 yards a week ago, and again, so that'll present some challenges for us. So certainly have some guys that jump out to you on film.
Coach, thank you for being here today. That concludes the Coach Mike Magistrelli Show. Be sure to tune in to KLA this weekend as they call the game. Thank you for watching.